Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to hear me properly as well as there's no problem with the audio or the video, do let me know so that we can then get started with today's class itself. If there's no problem with my audio or the video, please guys do let me know so that we can get started with today's class. Hello, good evening, everyone. We'll be waiting for 5 more minutes so that everyone is able to join us and then we'll get started. If there are any questions up to that particular point of time, please do let me know. I will try to answer some of them, some of the interesting ones that I'm able to see right now. And we'll be waiting for 5 more minutes so that everyone is able to join us. Please be on time, guys, every day because it becomes very like tedious for me to keep that around every single day. Please, guys, be on time. Okay, that was. I'm just closing the attendance form for yesterday because that is not needed anymore. And then I'm just making a copy for the same as well. That the two. Okay. Okay, so any questions or anything else that you guys want to ask to me, you can do that and I will help you guys out. Any questions or anything else? Please, guys, do let me know. Guys, do you have any questions that you want me to answer up till the point that anyone has not yet came? We will just like answer some of the questions. If you have any questions, we can get started right now. So, on which software can we practice Python? So, you can use Colab directly for practicing Python. It will be very easy for you as well. Okay. Deep learning is for data science. Deep learning is for, yes, data science as well as for AI as well as for deep like machine learning as well. So, don't worry about it. Okay. Can you conduct in the morning? Of course not. We cannot conduct in the morning. We all are working professionals. We only get the time in the evening itself to like do all these kind of stuff. As well as most of our students are actually students, so they have their college in the morning. Okay. Can we use Visual Studio Code? Yes, you can use Visual Studio Code. You can use Jupyter notebooks and all those kind of stuff as well. Okay, okay. Any good questions that I am not able to see? How long does it take to learn data science? It usually takes to learn the entire like to see there are many pathways that you can choose from. You can become a data analyst or a data scientist. Both of them have the same things that you have to learn. Okay, so if you want to become a data scientist or a data analyst, you have to learn the exact same things. The only difference is a data scientist is a data analyst who has years of experience on their hands. You have 3 to 4 years of a data analyst experience, you get promoted to data scientist. So both of them learn the same thing. Then you are having your machine learning engineer. A machine learning engineer needs to know a little bit of machine learning, lot more about deep learning, and then much more about deployment, web development, and all those kind of stuff as well. So there are various different kinds of like there's a data engineer as well. So a data engineer is a hardcore ETL pipeline guy. Okay, so he has another job in its entirety to take up one of the aspect. The minimum time, if you have the proper guidance, will be like 2.5 months. If you have the absolute best of the guidance available to you, then for data analyst it will be 2.5 months. For a full stack, for a machine learning engineer, it would be around 3 months, and for a data engineer it would be about 6 to 7 months, because you will first have to learn machine learning engineer as well as data analyst and have some type of experience behind you as well. Okay, so Currently, we do not have any boot camps for mechanical engineers, but see, the best thing about computer science is that anyone can learn computer science, whether you be from chemical, whether you be from biology, whether you be from statistics, anyone can learn. Okay, so that's the best thing about it. Okay, so I don't think so. More people are going to join. We'll wait for 5 more minutes so that we are able to see if someone is going to be joined on, will be joining us or not. Okay. Okay. What kind of project we do at the end? We'll do a simple project where we'll be implementing the entire thing in TensorFlow. That is one of the frameworks used for deep learning. So we'll look into it. Don't worry about it. It will be a very interesting project. So stay tuned. Python or Java, which one is preferred? First of all, you need to choose between C++ and Java. Anywhere when you're going for a programming job, whether it be a data analyst job, a data scientist job, a machine learning engineer, software development engineer, full stack web development, front end web development, back end web development, anything related to programming, first of all they will be asking you competitive programming. Okay, that you have to do either in C++ or Java, and then it comes to development. In development, you can use Python, you can use Java, you can use JavaScript, you can use TypeScript, you can use Go, you can use various different languages that you know. That is something that you have to do. Okay. Okay. What is the difference between data analyst and data engineering? So data engineering is something, if you are a fresher, it's beyond your scope. So you don't need to know about it, because any data engineering person will never be a fresher. He will have at least 3 to 4 years of experience, bare minimum, to be a data engineer. A data engineer has the majority of the way to collect data from various different sources. It can be a database, it can be a website, it can be user inputs that are continuously coming in through like your Athena or some AWS Athena or something like that, from your data warehouses, process the data, make pipelines for the data, clean the data properly, and put them in one particular place itself. This usually involves a lot of big data as well. Hence, usually data engineers are someone who has at least 3 to 4 years of industry experience. Only then you become a data engineer. A data analyst is an entry level data science job. So if you want to become a data scientist, or if you want to go into data science field, then the entry level job for the same will be data analyst. For a fresher, for a newbie, for a new person to enter into the entire field, that will be the go-to job for you. What is Matlab? What is the significance? Matlab is something that is way beyond, just think about it. You have power tools, right? You have your automatic cars right now. You do not have your gears or something like that. And then someone tells you that, okay, in like the early days, people used to use bullock carts. So that's the same thing. Matlab was very early on in AI and ML where it was used, but nowadays it is not used anywhere. Very few companies actually use it at this particular point of time. Not so important thing to learn. Please focus upon Python. That is something, Python or other type of applications, libraries, pandas, NumPy, TensorFlow, PyTorch, all these type of stuff will be very important for you. Okay. Which is easy, C++ or Java? I personally prefer C++, but both of them are the exact same thing. Only a little bit of syntax difference is there, but the code also looks exact same thing after this. Can I start freelancing after completing this course? Absolutely not. Okay, like I said, freelancing and all these kind of stuff are way beyond the scope of this particular 7 days bootcamp. This is just to introduce you to the various different things that are currently there. Okay. So let's get started with today's class. I guess almost everyone has joined us. So let's go to the description of this particular video. Let's go there. So copy the link, Google Forms, paste. Let me close the other things as well. Let's go to the notebook. So you guys will be remembering how to open the notebook, go to Colab and do all those kind of stuff. So this is the notebook that we were using yesterday. We'll be using the same notebook today as well. Then you just have to go to your Google. You just have to Google Colab, COLAB, colab.research.google.com. This is what we have done yesterday as well. So there is no thing that is different right now. You have to do the exact same thing. You have to select GitHub from right over here. the let's see, so retry, it will just authenticate us via GitHub. Once that has been done, then we'll be including, so what is the scope of a mechanical engineer learning machine learning, and that goes in that lab. Okay, so if you are not familiar with it, recently a company has developed a fully designed and manufactured car that has been designed and manufactured by a particular machine learning AI based solution itself. An AI program designed the entire car from scratch, manufactured the entire car from scratch, and created and assembled the entire car as well. It's called as a Future 2021 or something like that. Just look into it. It's an amazing thing. So AI is present everywhere, whether you be in biology, you be in medical, you be in chemical, you be in mechanical, you be in aeronautics, anywhere AI and ML will always be present. Okay, so GitHub, we just have to copy the URL that we had opened from below the video itself. We'll be going back right over here and pasting it in the URL section, and then click on search. So the exact same thing that we did yesterday. So there is nothing that we have to think about it right now. Okay. Yes, the student influencer selection process is not over. Basically, those people who have filled up the forms for the student influencers have been added to some WhatsApp groups, or maybe added to some WhatsApp groups very soon, and there the entire process will take place. Okay. Okay, so let's continue with the same data types and operators. So yesterday we had completed, I don't know up till where, let's see, up till integers and floats. We needed to start from data types today. Okay, so we have to start from data types today. It's a very important topic, guys. Please pay a lot of focus upon what we are going to do today. It is extreme importance. It is of extreme importance, guys. Okay, so let's start with integers and floats. I will just open up the live chat on my other laptop as well, so that I'm able to see the live chat on my screen, so that if someone is facing a lot of errors right over there, then I will just help them out. Okay, yes, we are going to cover almost whatever is necessary for Python in this bootcamp, as well as deep learning, and at the end we'll be having a project as well. Okay, so let's continue with the same integers. And yes, guys, please be on time whenever the bootcamp is starting. Please be on time, because it takes a lot of time from our behalf as well. We have to waste a lot of time because you people are joining late. So please be on time every single day. Okay, let's get started. So integers and floats. So far, numbers that we have dealt with are mostly whole numbers. We have seen like zeros, ones, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all whole numbers or integers that we have seen. Okay, but as many of you might have noticed, there are many other type of numbers that also do exist. For example, dividing one integer by another gives us a number that isn't an integer. In Python, we represent such numbers as float, which is short form for floating point number itself. Okay, so let's see right over here, print 3 divided by 2. Let us run this particular line of code. You'll be able to see that 3 and 2 are integers. Okay, we can categorize them as integers itself. Okay, but when I'm running this particular line of code, it's just connecting right now. Once it has been connected, it will run the line of code as well. Okay, so it is initializing. It's still very slow. Okay, so print 3 divided by 2. You are able to see 1.5 being printed on your screen. Okay, so 1.5 is being printed on your screen. So 1.5 is not an integer. 1.5 is not a whole number. What is 1.5? 1.5 in terms of Python, like the language Python, is called as a floating point number, or in short, it is called as a float. Okay, numbers with a decimal point such as 3.14 or 1.5 are called as floating point numbers or floats. Note that even though the value 42 is an integer, the value 42.0 would be a floating point number. And if two integers are divided, then also we get float as an answer. So let us first try to understand what is a data type. So today in the web development class, I have already taught them what exactly is a data type. Let's discuss with you guys as well. Okay, so let's open up what is a data type right now. So it's very simple to understand. Let's try to understand this in a very simple way. You are having some data. Okay, you are having some data. Now that data will be like a cube. It can be of a structure of a cube. The data can be of a structure of a rectangular, like a box that is of rectangular in shape. It can be pyramidal in structure. That same box can be of a pyramidal in structure as well. That same box can be a sphere. The same box can be a sphere as well. So there are different type of data that are available to us, which have different kinds of shapes and different kinds of properties associated with them, and hence these are called as the different types of data. Okay, so if these structures are different data, so these are called as different types of data or data types. These can be strings. So what are strings? Strings are hello world. Okay, so when you put it in inverted commas, anything inside of inverted commas, that is called as a string. You have integers, that is int. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3. You are having floats, that is your decimal numbers, 3.14, 1.5, all these kind of numbers. You are having your Boolean numbers, that is your true and your false values. We'll be looking at all these different type of data structures very soon, so do not think that sir has just gone over them or something like that. We'll be looking at each type of these data types in depth in the coming in this class itself. Most probably we'll be covering all the data types in this class itself, so please be very patient, and we will be starting with this right now. Okay, yes, you can do the entire project without a laptop or a PC as well. Okay, for the student influencers, let me do one thing. I will just open up the Google form. If you guys want to join like as a campus ambassador for ShapeAI, I'm just putting it up right down below. Let me just find it first. I don't know if that still exists or not. Okay, internship application form, I guess this was it. Let me just okay, by tomorrow I will share it with you in the description of the video itself. Don't worry about the same. I'll have to find it. I also don't remember, so no problem in that. So let's continue with integers and floats. So integers and floats are one of the type of data types that are available to us. Okay, we are having your integer data types as well as your float data types as well. Okay, so let us see right now. So far we have seen that print 3 divided by 2, that gives us a number that isn't an integer, that is 1.5. 1.5 is a float. Okay, so float is a decimal type of number. So numbers with a decimal point such as 3.14 are called as floating point numbers, that is the full form. In short, we also call them as float. Okay, note that even though the value 42 is an integer, 42 as a value is an integer, but the value 42.0 will be a float because now it is a decimal number. Okay, 42 is an integer, but 42.0 is a decimal number. Okay, that is why it is called as a floating point number. And if two integers are divided, if there are two integers that are divided, then also we get a float as the value. For example, 3 divided by 2, both of them are integers, but when we divide them, we get float as an output. If we divide 4 divided by 2, 4 is an integer, 2 is an integer, but when we run this particular line of code, we get 2.0. 2.0 is a decimal number, and hence 2.0 is a float. So any two integers, or even when you are dividing a float by an integer or something like that as well, so 4.0 divided by 2, in that particular case as well, you will get 2.0 as the output. So an integer divided by integer, a float divided by integer, and integer divided by a float divided by a float will give you a float as an answer only. Okay, you can check the data type of any value by using the built-in function type that returns the type of an object. Okay, it's very simple. You want to see what is the type of a particular object, whether it is a string, whether it is an integer, whether it is a float, whether it is a bool. I don't know which type, which data type is that particular object. So to do that, I can use the inbuilt function by Python, that is the type function. Okay, I'll just increase the size of the screen. We can use the inbuilt type function to do that. So for example, if I'm having two variables, okay, so we are having a is equals to 3 and b is equals to 2.5. We are having two variables that are available to us, a is equals to 3 and b is equals to 2.5. If I want to print the type of A and type of B, I can just write print type of A and print type of B. Just like in English, when you read something, you will be able to understand. You'll be able to see that we are getting A ka type is integer. We are seeing the type of A being int. That is, int is a short form for integer, and B type is float. Okay, that is the short form for floating point number. Okay, so very simple for strings as well. So there is another data type, C is equals to strings. Let us see. Sure, strings can have characters. It can have capital and small characters. It can have spaces inside of it. It can have different special characters. It can have numbers inside of it. Anything. It can strings can have anything inside of inverted commas. Okay, inside of inverted commas, strings can contain anything. Okay, so if I'm doing type of C, okay, when we do print and then type of C, okay, I want to see the type of C. So you will be able to see that the type of C is str. That is the short form for string. As simple as that. Okay, so let's get started. So we have covered an operation involving an int and a string. So all these kind of stuff has already been done. Okay, so let's see. We can convert one data type to another. We can convert an integer to float, a float to an integer as well, by constructing new objects of those data type with int and float inbuilt conversion attributes. Okay, so for example, if I'm having a integer value, so I want to convert this 3, that is an integer. 3 is an integer. I want to convert 3 as an integer to float. How can I do that? I just have to enclose it into parentheses and write float in front of it. That's it. I've converted 3, that was an integer, into 3.0, that is now a float. When I'm running this particular line of code, you'll be able to see that 3 is being printed on our screen as 3.0. Okay, print A. Okay, float 3. I've converted 3, that was an integer, to float. Now when I've converted into float, I will just add 0.0 to it. Okay, that will convert it to a float. Okay, that I've converted into a decimal number. Secondly, when I'm having an float, okay, I'm having a float 28.9. I want to convert it into a string. I want to convert 28.9 into a string. Sorry, into an integer. Okay, 28.9 is a float. I want to convert it into an integer. It is very simple to do. I just have to write int in front of it, and you are able to see that it is getting me 28. So when I convert a float to an integer, whatever is the value beyond the decimal point, it just deletes that. Okay, whatever is the value present beyond the decimal point, it will just delete that. It will just truncate it at that particular point of time. So instead of getting 28.9, when you're converting it into an integer, you will get 28 as your answer. Okay, so as you are able to see, 28.9 is a float. You want to convert it into an integer, and hence you get 28 as the output. Okay, so this is very important for you guys to understand. Okay, moving further. Any point that you need to keep in mind is that float are approximation to the number that they represent. Okay, this is a very, very, very important point, guys, because this is being asked in interviews a lot, especially these days. Many interviewers, this is the favorite question for interviewers, because most people do not know this. Because they have not studied the language in depth, they have no idea about it, and when the interviews ask these type of questions, they are not able to answer, and the interviewers knows that these people do not actually practice coding, because they do not know even the basic stuff. And this is something that you will only know when you have practiced a lot, when you have done a lot of different codes, when you have done a lot of different projects. Only then you come to this particular realization that this is a very important thing to remember. So this is a very, very, very important question that is being asked in many interviews nowadays. So this is something that you guys need to understand, and please be very careful when I'm teaching you this particular aspect, because this is being asked again and again in almost every single interviews right now. Another point that you need to keep in mind is that float are an approximation to the number they represent. This line, just keep that in your mind. Just put it in your mind that this is a very important line. Float are an approximation to the number they represent. as float can represent very large range of numbers. It can represent like 2.00001234 5. So it can represent a very large range of numbers from like negative millions to positive millions and having billions of different decimal points as well. So Python must use an approximation to represent these numbers. These are due to two things. First of all, if you are representing a very large number in your memory, then it will be eating up your memory as well. And the second thing is to maintain precision for that particular number. So when you are saving a particular number as 0.23, when you are saving a number as 0.23, that's a float number as 0.23, Python will be saving it in its memory as 0.230000146, something like this, a number little bit more than the number that you have written down. Why so? To maintain the precision of the entire number. When you're dividing the number by something or multiplying something to the number, or like doing some type of mathematical computation on the number, the precision, the accuracy of the entire thing, that is the number of decimal points up till which it can show you the answer, that is something that Python needs to maintain, okay, needs to carry forward. Hence 0.23 will be stored a little bit more than 0.23. It will be 0.2300000123. It is very small, very minute. You will not be able to see any changes in your mathematical computations due to this small value. But when you try to do some calculations that are huge, for example, if I'm adding, multiplication is something in which the numbers do not get like the negative numbers are being ignored, because when the new number is being created, the last numbers are being ignored directly. So right now when I'm seeing this particular line, when I'm adding 0.23 30 times, I've added 0.23 30 times, then it should be equal to 6.9. 0.23 added 30 times should be equal to 6.9, but that is not the case. 0.23 is not equal to 6.9. 0.23 30 times is not equal to 6.9. Why? Because 0.23 in its entirety is a little bit more than the exact 0.23, and hence when we are adding 30 times, this is a little bit more than 6.9. So instead of having it equated to 6.9, I will just make it greater than 6.9, and it will give me a true value that yes, 0.23 added 30 times is a little bit more than 6.9. okay, are you guys able to understand this up till this particular point of time? Equal to sign represents whether the left hand side is equal to the right hand side or not. Okay, whether the left hand side is equal, left hand side includes all these 0.23 added 30 times, and 6.9 represents just 6.9. so either the left hand side is equal to the right hand side or not. This is what we are able to see from this particular thing. Are you guys able to understand this? This is very important, guys. You will not be able to understand it, you will not find it anywhere else as well. This is very, very, very important. I'm just going through it once again. Please listen to me very carefully. I will not be repeating this because there's a lot that we have to cover. Okay, so floats are an approximation to the number that they represent. They are not the exact number. They are a little bit more than the number they represent. So if you are writing 0.23, floats are saving it as 0.2300000123 or something like that, just to maintain the precision, the accuracy of the number that you are having, so that when you are doing any multiple mathematical calculations, they are able to go up till that particular decimal places itself. Although this difference is very small, but it exists nevertheless, and you should know about this, because this is something that is being asked a lot many number of times in your interviews and many other places as well. This is very, very, very important. Okay, so the number when you are adding 0.23 30 times will be like, there was something at the end of 0.23. So adding it 30 times just increases it. It makes it a bit visible to like Python that, okay, now the difference is too much, and hence 0.23 is not equal to 0.23 30 times is not equal to 6.9. Okay, so yeah, so people are able to understand up till this particular point of time. So this is the equal to operator basically checks if the left hand side, the value present on the left hand side, is equal to the value present on the right hand side or not. If the value is equal, then true will be the answer, that yes, this statement is true, that left hand side is equal to the right hand side. If the value is not equal to, then it will give you a false value. So when I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that false is being given to us as an output. Okay, so this is very important, guys. Please try to focus upon this. Okay, so moving further, Boolean data type comparison and logical operators. So right now we have seen one of the comparison operators. Okay, this is one of the comparison operators that are present right now that we are using usually, and this is getting us a Boolean answer that is currently coming for right over here. Okay, so you are getting false as an output, so this is a Boolean operator. So let us see the Boolean data type as well. Okay, so let's move on with it. So bool is another data type that is commonly used in Python. Bool is short form for Boolean, which is having a value of either true or false. So in Boolean you can only have two types of value. You can either have true or you can have false values. There's nothing in between them. Okay, Boolean algebra is the branch of algebra on which the values of variables are the truth value or the false value. So that is the true or false. Boolean algebra is the framework upon which all the electronic devices are built and exist fundamentally in every line of code inside a computer. So the code inside a computer is all zeros and ones. So ones can be represented by the true values and zeros can be represented by the false values. So that is also called a binary, okay, or a Boolean type of data itself. Okay, so all your computers, all your like electronic devices, or everything that is digital in nature is basically based on these true and false value itself, and hence it is very important to learn these Boolean data type. Okay, so are you guys able to hear me properly? Someone is saying that my voice is not clear. Are you guys able to hear me properly or not? Please do let me know, guys. Guys, are you able to hear me properly or not? Please do let me know. Okay, so people are able to hear me properly. So whomsoever had that particular problem, it is from your end. Please look into it. Okay, no problem in that. Let's continue. In Python, we can easily assign Boolean values like this. We can have the value. So the value in the Boolean value is like true or false. True or false is your Boolean value itself. So to make a particular variable contain a Boolean value, you can just write the name of that particular variable. So Python awesome is equals to true, or documentation bad is equals to false. Okay. So this is how you can create a Boolean value, as simple as that. The variable and the associated true and false value associated with them. So this is very simple to understand. Variable on the left hand side assigned to a value that is a true value or a false value that is a Boolean value on the right hand side. We can use comparison operators to compare two values and produce Boolean results like this. Okay, so a is equals to 3 greater than 1, print a. Okay, so right now I'm showing you the attendance link. Please take a screenshot for that. I will not be showing it. It will be on my screen for the next 10 seconds only. Take a screenshot for the same. This is a YouTube video. Don't tell me that rewind it back again or something like that, because this is a YouTube video. You can rewind the video, take the screenshot and then go live once again. I'm showing you the link right now. Take a screenshot and then we'll continue. It will be on the screen for the next 10 seconds only. Take a screenshot for the link. It will be on the screen for the next 10 seconds and I will be closing the link. Please guys, do take a screenshot right now. Okay. For those who have not taken up the screenshot, you can rewind the video and take the screenshot once again. You can note down the timing of the particular link as well, and then you can do it. Okay, you just have to fill up the form to get the attendance. As simple as that. Okay, you just have to fill up the Google form to get your attendance. As simple as that. There's nothing else to it. Just fill up the Google form to get your attendance. As simple as that. The link is working. Do not worry about the same. The link is working. Okay, So the link always works. You never have to worry about the same. I will just check it once again so that I'm able to. 6 responses have already came, 7 responses. So link is working. So there's no problem right over there as well. Okay, great. So let's continue with the same as well. Okay, so we can use the comparison operators to compare two values and produce Boolean results. So for example, if you want to check if 3 is greater than 1 or not, so I will just write a is a variable is equals to 3 greater than 1. So yes, 3 is greater than 1, that means it is a true value. So 3 is greater than 1, that is true. So a will get the true value itself. Yes, 3 is greater than 1, that means it is true. This statement is true, so this will be replaced by the true value. Okay, so here in Python it is like T is capital, T and F in Python is capital in true and false. Okay, so a is equals to true, and when you are running it, you will get a is equals to true back again. So if I am replacing it by the original value, that is 3 greater than 1, a will still remain true because 3 is greater than 1. So you are able to get that the value of a is true. This is how you are using the comparison operators to get Boolean results. Okay, to compare two different objects to get the answer by this particular comparison and to then get the true or the false value. Okay, one more thing. Never tell anyone where the link is, when the link is, how the link is. Why? Because you guys are paying attention, you guys are coming to the entire session every single day, you are learning something from the session itself, and these guys will not be attending the session, will not be coming to the session, will not be learning anything, and but will still get the certificates. Why? Because you guys were nice. So never tell where is the link, when is the link, how is the link. Okay, always remember this. Be a little bit selfish for yourself, for your own sake. Okay, so that's great. Let's move on with the same. Here 3 is greater than 1. So printing out the output gives us a Boolean value to true. There are many comparison operators in Python and you will see them all right over here. There are, so we have seen the greater than sign. So this is the greater than comparison operator. We have the greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal, greater than or equal to, not equal to. These are the different comparison operators that are present in Python. So you are having a greater than, there is the greater than equal to, then there is the less than equal to, then there is the not equal to, then there is the equal to equal to. These are the different comparison operators that are present in Python. As the name suggests, greater than equal to, as the name suggests, is 3 greater than or equal to 1. Less than equal to is 3 less than or equal to 1. Less than 1 is 3 less than 1. Equal to is 3 equal to 1 or not. Not equal to is 3 not equal to 1. So these are the different things that are associated. These are the different operators, the comparison operators that are associated for the getting Boolean results. Okay, so moving on to the next. Working with Boolean has its own set of operators called as logical operators. We've already seen arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are the plus, minus, multiplication, divisions that we usually use on the integers and floats. Those are called as arithmetic operators. Similarly, Boolean has its own set of operators that are called as Boolean operators or logical operators. These operators are very useful when working with Boolean values, and it evaluates if both the sides are true or evaluates if both the sides are false, and there are many other things as well in between. For example, if I am having a rent as 1,200, okay, so is affordable. We have created a variable called as is affordable. Is affordable is equals to rent greater than 1,000 and rent less than 2,000. What we will be doing is, first of all, we'll be replacing the variable length by its value. So 1,200 is the value of rent. We'll be replacing that wherever we have written rent. So 1,200 is greater than 1,000. Let's look at the left hand side of and logical operator. Okay, anyone who is caught sharing the link anywhere, okay, will not be given the certificate and will be blacklisted from all our boot camps as well. Please remember that. The link always works. There is never a time that the link is not working. As you are able to see, 859 people have already filled up the entire Google form. So the link always works. Okay. Now once that has been cleared, so 1200 is greater than 1000. Yes, that's absolutely true. 1200 is greater than 1000, so it will be replaced by true. Okay, 1200 is less than 2000. Is that right? Yes, 1200 is less than 2000, so it would be true once again. Now on the left hand side of and, it is true. On the right hand side of and, it is also true. So true and true, just like normal and operator that you must have studied in your electrical classes in physics. So most of you have done like 11th and 10th standard physics, so I expect that you guys know what is an and operator. I do not need to repeat myself right over there, because that is the basic like 11th 12th knowledge that you guys need. Okay, so true and true will get you the value as true, so I will replace this by true itself. So true is the value that we are getting. So is affordable true will be the value we'll be getting at the end of the day. So let us see what happens when we change it back to the original format. So is affordable is equals to rent greater than 1000 and rent less than 2000. So this is how the and operator will function. It will check if the left hand side is true, and if the right hand side is true, then it will give you true as the output. So if I run this particular line of code, you will be able to see that is affordable, the value of is affordable is true. Okay, as simple as that. This is very easy, guys. Very, very, very easy. There's nothing too hard in this. You guys will be able to understand it very easily. Okay, so are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? Are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? Please let me know. Okay, people are able to understand. So those people who were busy filling up their attendance form, I've already told you guys, always fill up the attendance form after the end of the entire class itself. Do not go about filling the form right now when I'm showing it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Always at the end of the entire class, fill up the attendance link. Otherwise, you will be missing out on a lot of things. This is a YouTube tutorial. You can scroll back once again and listen to what I've said. Okay, okay. Moving further, let's see. Okay, so rent is equals to, instead of 1200, let's see 2000. Okay, or like 2500. What happens when we do that? Is affordable, is rent greater than 1000? Let's see. Yes, 2500 is greater than 1000, so this will be replaced by true. Okay, this will be replaced by true. Rent is less than 2000. Is rent less than 2000? No, rent is not less than 2000, so this will be replaced by false. Okay, so true and false will give us the false value, because both are not true, so this will be replaced by false, and at the end of the day is affordable will be false. Okay, so just let us do it once again. Rent is 2500. Let us see what will be is affordable. So is affordable is false. As simple as that. Again, I've make you guys understand, this is very important, guys. Okay, moving further, let us see how we can use not. Okay, so initially the same example, let me just remove this not from right over here. Okay, so I just deleted it. No problem, I'll just copy it from right over here. 1200. Okay, this is the same example that we took on like in the okay, in early on what we use the same example. I'm using the same example right now. Rent is 1200, is affordable. Rent greater than 1000, rent less than 2000. Print is affordable. Okay, so let us take up as is luxury. So is lux, we have created another variable called as is lux, that determines whether that particular state is a luxury or not. So if it is affordable, it is not a luxury. Okay, we want to do not affordable. So what we can do is we can just enclose the entire affordable structure into one and just put up not in front of it. Okay, this will negate anything that is present inside of it. So this is a representation of is the highlighted portion, that is rent greater than 1000 and rent less than 2000, is a representation of is affordable. Okay, so not is affordable will give me the negation of is affordable. So this was true. So as you are able to see, rent is 1200. When I replace it, this part is true. On the left hand side of and is true. On the right hand side of and is also true. 1200 is less than 2000. So this entire thing will become true. This entire thing will become true. So what is not true? What is not true? Not true is false. Not true is false. So is lux will be false, not true. Okay, we are seeing not true, just like in simple English, not true is false, hence not true is false. That will be the answer. Hence we are, when you having this particular code as well, not rent greater than 1000 and rent less than 2000, when we'll be running this, you will get false as the output. This is what we are trying to understand up till this particular point of time. Okay, very easy to understand. Is everyone able to understand up till this particular point of time? Is everyone is able to understand up till this particular point of time? Please guys, do let me know. Are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? Guys, please do let me know. Okay, amazing. So people are able to understand up till this particular point of time. Let us move on to the next topic, that is strings. Okay, so strings. Python has another data type in its toolkit called as strings. As the name suggests, it is this data type that deals with characters, words, and texts. Okay, so characters, words, and text that you have already seen, all these kind of stuff are actually used. Like actually whatever you see on your screen is basically string at some level or other. Okay, string is an immutable ordered sequence of characters. We will be I will be explaining what is ordered and immutable when we are moving further, so please do not pay a lot of attention right now. When we are moving further, we will be learning about what is ordered, what is immutable. That is not important at this particular point of time. So please be very patient with me and try to understand what I'm telling you right now. Okay. So let's move on from this. We will be explaining what immutable and ordered means later on itself. Okay, you can create a string by using quotes as seen here. You can use single quotes or double quotes to do that as well. Okay, so you are having print ShapeAI and print ShapeAI. Here ShapeAI has been put in double inverted commas, and ShapeAI has, in the second line, ShapeAI has been put in single inverted commas itself. When you are running this particular line of code, you'll be able to see that the same output is coming to our screen. That means we can use the double inverted commas as well as single inverted commas. Okay, so you can use the double inverted commas as well as the single inverted commas for both the things as well. Please try to remember this. This is very important, guys. Okay, that you can use any of the double inverted commas as well as the single inverted commas when you take up a string. To declare a string, you just have to put the entire, like whatever you want to put. You can have like capital letters, you can have small letters, you can have spaces, you can have numbers, you can have some like special characters as well. There's no limit to it. When you are putting it right over here, you will be able to see that everything that was present inside the inverted commas got printed on my screen. Okay, so this is the entire thing that you need to understand right now. In this example, we printed ShapeAI using single inverted commas and double inverted commas and got the same output, ShapeAI. Okay, so we can also assign a string to a variable just like float and int. Okay, so we are having a float and int right over here. So motto is equals to learn code compete intern, print motto. So right over here, as you're able to see, like learn code compete intern is being printed out on our screen. So basically motto is a particular variable and the value that it contains is a string. Okay, motto is a particular variable and value that it contains is a particular string. Okay, moving further, strings in Python are shown as variable type str. We have already seen that type of C. We had seen it when we went a lot before as well. So type motto. When I'm printing it out on our screen, you will be able to see that str is being printed on our screen. So this is as simple as it can get. We are getting str, that is the type of string, that is str is a short form for string, and we are getting it on our screen right now. Okay. String can contain any character. Again, the attendance link is always working. Like you are able to see, 1509 people have already filled it up. So attendance link always works. Okay. Moving further. Please do not waste anyone's time by asking such idiotic questions, because the attendance link always works. There's never a time when the attendance link is not working. Okay, please be very careful with what you are actually like typing while making the attendance link itself. It is very simple. You have to just see it and type it. If that is also what you are not able to do, then coding is something that's way beyond your capability, according to me. Okay, so there you have to do it on your own. So that's the main thing. You cannot even copy. So strings can contain any characters, symbols, spaces within the quotes. We have already seen that we can contain numbers, we can contain characters, we can contain any other things as well. That is very important for us to know right now. Okay. So the dialogue is equals to Shiva said, you learn as you grow. One of the major problems that we are getting right over now is if we are having a particular say like double quote, we start the entire thing with a double quote and we want to end it at a double quote as well. That is the entire duration that will contain as a string itself. But when you are seeing it right now, as you are able to see it, if we are having another set of double quotes inside the entire string, then that is a hindrance to it. Because what happens is when the Python compiler starts going through the entire string, it will start by the first letter. Okay, so it will see that, okay, this is a double quote. That means this is an initialization of a particular string itself. It will go about considering everything to be a string until unless it finds another double quote. When it finds the another double quote, it will stop right over there. Okay, it will stop right over there and it will consider only this particular part as your string, and the rest of the thing will be considered as gibberish because it does not know what is the meaning of this until unless it finds another double quote. When it starts realizing that, okay, this is again another string, and it finds the next closing embarkment of that particular string that will contain this empty string as a string as well. Okay, so this is one of the strings and this is another string that is present right over there. Okay, and this is all gibberish that is present in the middle. Okay, so try to understand this. Dialogue is equals to Shiva said, then gibberish, and then string. This is what you are able to infer from this, but this is not what we want. We want to include strings inside of strings. What we can do for this is we want to use double quotes inside of the entire string. We can start by putting it up as single inverted quotes in the start. We can have the entire quote in single inverted quotes, the entire string in single inverted quotes, and inside of it we can use double inverted quotes. Why we can use this? Because when it starts with the single inverted quote, it will look for another single quote to end the string. So when it's going through the entire string, it is finding a double inverted quote. It is not a single inverted quote. So it will consider that to be a part of the string itself. It will move further, it will move further, it will move further, it will move further. It will find another double inverted quote. Again, not a single inverted quote, not the stop of the string itself. Then at the end, it is able to find the single inverted quote, and hence it will be able to stop right over there. You can do the entire same thing in the inverse way as well. You can have the double inverted quotes in the outside and single inverted quotes on the inside. Okay, so instead of having the double inverted quotes in the inside as well as outside, you can have the single inverted quotes inside, and in the outside we can have the double inverted quotes. But there may be many conditions in which you may want to use both double inverted quotes as well as the single inverted quote inside the string together. At that particular point of time, things get messy, but Python always has a way around it. It will be using the escape keyword. So let us see right over here. So you are having Shiva, your bag is red. So this is called as an escape character. Okay, this basically is called as an escape character. This backslash is called as an escape character. We are starting with an end, like a single quote. It will look forward another single quote to end it. So if I'm putting it right over here, it will look forward for another single quote to end it. So it will consider only this much to be a string. This is not what we want. We want Python to ignore this particular like single inverted code. We want Python to ignore this single inverted code. We want Python to be told that this is a part of the string and not the end of the string. Okay, so to do that, we'll use a backslash. A backslash is an escape character which tells Python that, okay, Python, listen to me. The next character that you're going to see is not a special character. The next character that you are going to see is a part of this particular string itself and is not included. And it is not it is not the ending of the entire string. It is included in the string itself. When I'm running this particular line of code, there will be no errors and you will be able to see that the single inverted quote is being printed on your screen. Okay, the backslash is a special character. Of course, it will not be printed on your screen because it's a special character. It's a special character that tells Python that the next character is not special. Try to understand this. Okay, it is a special character and it tells Python that the next character to it is not a special character. Are you guys able to understand this? Okay, it is a special character which tells Python that the next character is not a special character. Are you guys able to understand this? If I want Python to ignore this particular single inverted comma, does not want Python to consider this as the end of the entire string, I will just put a backslash in front of it and that's it. That's it. That's what you have to do and it will work. Okay. As easy as it can get. It is very easy to understand. There will be no problem for the same as well. Okay. Okay. Move further. There are few operators that we can use on floats and ints that can be used on strings as well. So you can add two strings. So the same thing that you can use on strings as well. If you okay, so okay, Vinay thinks that I know nothing, and that's why I have a job and he doesn't. So like that's the main like burn that I can get. Like okay, I think so. He will be able to understand from that statement itself that I am having a job and I'm doing this for free, and Vinay is learning from me right now, and Vinay is saying that I don't know anything. So that's the main thing. Like people don't understand this, but yeah. So burn Vinay. Okay, no problem in that. See, any type of feedback is always appreciative enough. Okay, but try to give the feedback to me. Okay, so that I can improve myself, the way of teaching and everything. I have to keep in mind that more than 2,300 people are live right now from various different backgrounds, from various different levels. I have to take everyone according to me. I cannot just keep the bootcamp just for people who actually know the stuff. They do not actually need bootcamp to learn. People who don't know things and they come to the bootcamp just to learn things. I have to take everything from scratch so that people who don't even know what is programming are able to understand everything from scratch and they are able to build the project at the end of the day. That is what is my motto right now. My motto is not to teach something that already people know. My motto is to teach people who do not know anything, who do not have a head start, who do not know where to proceed from, so that they are able to understand different concepts. They are able to understand, okay, what is Python, what is deep learning, what is machine learning, what is web development, what is backend, what is front end, and then they are able to understand from that. Okay, so yeah, no problem in that. Like just disclaimer, Vinay was harmed during this video. Like that is the best thing that I've heard this particular day by Meow. That's really awesome. Okay, yeah, so let's continue with the same. here there are few operators. So similarly, when we were doing your mathematics, when we were doing the entire like computations in arithmetics, so you were having your integers, you are having your bools, you are having your floats as well. So you were adding two numbers, you were dividing two numbers, you were subtracting two numbers, and many other things as well. So there's no issues with that. Similarly, you can use some of those things on strings as well. For example, when you want to concatenate instead of adding, so in strings you cannot add two strings together. You can add, by adding two strings you mean that you are attaching one string at the end of the other string. Okay, you are having two strings, you are taking them, and when you are adding it, it means you are concatenating. That is, you are adding one string at the end of the other string, you are appending the strings together. Okay, so print hello plus world, as simple as that. You will get hello world being printed on your screen right now. Print hello space world, you will get hello world being printed, hello space world being printed on your screen. This is how you use the plus operation to like do all the computations in like you, when you want to add two strings together, you want to append to one string at the end of the another string. So this is how you will be doing it. Okay, so very simple. When you want to append two strings together, append three strings together, append, I don't know, a million strings together, like of course you will not be writing that particular long statements or something like that, but when you want to append something together, like strings especially, then you will be using this type of plus operator to append different strings together. Okay, this is as simple as it can get. Here in this example, we see that using the plus arithmetic operator, we get hello world, that is without any space, hello world written together. But this word does not mean anything. Hello world written together is no word at all. We need to have a space in between. Okay, in between we need to have a space. Right over here, as you are able to see, when you are printing this, we are getting the hello world being printed on the first line. This does not mean anything. Hello space world means something. Okay, so to append this particular space, we can either write hello, we will append a space to it, and then we'll append world to it. Or secondly, what we can do is we can just delete this and we can have hello plus space world as the second string itself. If I'm appending this as well, you will get hello space world being appended, and you will get this at the end of the day. Okay, okay, so this is something that is there. Then the second arithmetic operator that you can use is the multiplication operator. Okay, so word is word, so we have taken up a word hello. Okay, we will write word into 5. What will happen is 5 5 times word will be appended at the end of each other. So 5 words will be taken together and they will be appended at the end of each other. So you will get hello 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 printed 5 times. When you are running this particular line of code, you will be able to see hello being printed 5 times. They are appended one beyond the another and being printed 5 times on your screen. Okay, so are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? Yeah, exactly, Ashwini. Hello will be printed 5 times at the end of each other. Okay, okay. Okay, so other operators, for example, multiplication operator and addition operators work on strings, but subtraction operators or division operators do not work on strings. There's no logic on subtracting one string from another. What will you get? Nothing. Dividing one string by another, what will you get? Nothing. So these operators are not allowed in Python. So if I'm doing hello minus world, you will get an error being thrown to you. Unsupported operand types for minus, str and str. You cannot do subtraction on two strings. You cannot do division on two strings. If you are trying to divide two strings, it will again give you an unsupported operand types for the division operator for str and str. So you cannot perform subtraction, you cannot perform division on strings. Okay, you can only perform additions and multiplications on strings. Okay, if you want to have space in between, what we have to do? If you want to have space in between, like I said, append a space in between. That's it. You just want to append a space in between, and you have appended a space in between the two strings. When you are printing it out, you will get hello world with a particular space in between them. Okay, as you are able to see, hello space world. Okay, if you want to have space for the 5 hellos, very simple, you will just have an space right over here. So hello space multiplied by 5 times, you will get hello space, hello space, hello space, hello space, hello space. As simple as that. Okay. Okay, there are two other arithmetic operators. So one of the students called as Vaishak Maharaj has asked. So two other arithmetic operators on numbers that are currently present. Let me just show to you guys. Okay, so you are having 5, so 2 to the power, you want to do 2 to the power 3. Okay, 2 to the power 3 is 2 into 2 into 2, so that is the exponentiation arithmetic operator. So this star star is the exponentiation arithmetic operator. This actually means that you will be having 2 into 2 into 2. This is the meaning of this, 2 to the power 3. This is the exponentiation. Okay, so when I'm printing this out, you will be able to get 8 on your screens. Okay, so this is the exponentiation operator star star. Then there is one more operator called as the integral division operator. Okay, integral division operator is when you divide 5 divided by 2, you get 2.5 as your output. You do not want 2.5 as your output, you want 2 as your output. Okay, so what you can do is you can do integral division, that is it will give you the integer part of the entire division itself, that is 2. Okay, you will be the entire, like when you're dividing 5 divided by 2, when you're doing integral division, you will get the integer part of the entire division, that is 2, that will be given to you. So this is another arithmetic operator that is not so important, hence I have not included it right over here, but there was a question, so I thought that I will just be answering that question if the people mean. Okay, okay, so let's move on with the entire thing as well. Okay, so a useful built-in function for string data type is the len function, which stands for length. As the name suggests, it returns the length of an object. It returns the number of characters in a string. Okay, so basically the len function in Python is an inbuilt function that is present in Python, which gives us the length of the number of characters. Len means the number of characters that are present inside the entire string ShapeAI. Okay, so len means the number of characters present inside of ShapeAI. So word length is equals to len of characters, the ShapeAI, SHAPEAI. So that will give us 7 as the output. So len ShapeAI will give us 7 as the output directly. Okay, so this is as simple as it can get. Are you guys able to understand this? Len of ShapeAI. Okay, that is the length of the word ShapeAI, number of characters that are present inside of ShapeAI. Okay, okay. Okay, so we have completed up till type and type conversion. So let us keep this as the last thing that we'll be doing today. Okay, type and type conversion is very important, so we'll complete this and that will be it for today. Okay, you guys will be able to understand everything. Okay, so till now we have covered 4 different data types: int, float, bool and string. Okay, integer, floating point numbers, boolean data type and strings. As you can recall from the previous classes, Python has the built-in function called as type, which returns the type of an object. We have already seen that. Okay, type of 75, type of 75.5, type of inverted commas 75 and type of true. Although 75, 75.0, inverted comma 75 appear to be the same value, they have the different data types, as you are able to see: integer, float, string and bool. Even though 75 has the same value, 75, 75.5, 75.0 and 75 in inverted commas has the same value, but still they have the different data types. 75 is integer, 75.0 is float, inverted comma 75 is str, that is string. So this is one of the main things, that even though the value is same, they can have different data types itself. Okay, so it is to note that we call the function print on another function type to output the return. So that is also something that we do not need to know right now. Okay, so we need to type conversion. We sometimes need, we have already seen this. We want to convert like an integer to a float. We already know that 3 को convert करेंगे we float में. So we'll get 3.0 as the output. When we convert 3 to float, we get 3.0 as the output, and that is a float right now. Okay, so this is as simple as that. I'm not teaching in Hindi because we have people from Africa, we have people from Spain, we have people from Indonesia, we have many South Indians as well, we have people from China, we have people from America as well who are currently studying with us. So we have to continue in English itself, so that it's a universal language that everyone can understand and everyone can learn from the same as well. Okay, so in this next example, we created a string from integer named marks. So mark is an integer. Marks is equals to 15. Okay. So marks is equals to 15. Subject is equals to coding. Semester is equals to first. 15 is an integer. Okay. 15 is an integer. So right over here, we have result is equals to I scored. Okay, if I'm directly putting marks right over here, instead of doing anything, instead of doing any type of type conversion, I just want to have I scored these many number of marks in this subject in this semester. I can of course use the concatenation property that we have used. Using the plus symbol, we can use the concatenation property and we will get like I scored this much marks in this much subject and this much semester. But when I'm running this particular line of code, you'll be able to see that there's an error that is occurring. It is saying that you can only concatenate string and not integer to string. It is saying that you cannot concatenate marks directly to the string itself. You first have to convert marks to string and then concatenate it to string. So to convert integer to string, you just have to put str in front of it. Okay, you just have to put, just like when you converted integer to float, you put like float in front of it. When you converted a float to integer, you put up integer int in front of it. Similarly, when you want to convert an integer to a string, you will put up str in front of it. This is called as type conversion. Okay, so when you are running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that I scored 15 in coding during my first semester. Even if it was 15.5, okay, 15.4 or something like that, when I'm running this, so 15.4 is a float. When I'm running this, I'm converting a float to a string, and hence you will get I scored 15.4 in coding during my first semester. Okay, so you have easily converted a string to float to a string and an integer to a string, and then once it has been converted into a string, you can then append it to other strings as well. Okay, so this is very important, guys, very important to know, very important to understand as well. You can even convert strings back to integers. So here marks is a string. Okay, so let us see. Type of marks is like, of course it will come as str, and then when we are going to marks is equals to float marks, and we will print marks as well again. So you'll be able to see that float, we have converted the string now to float. As you're able to see now, the string is not a string but a float, and the output is 15.0. That is a float as well. This is as simple as it can get, guys. Very easy to understand. There is nothing too hard about it. I hope that you guys were able to understand up till this particular point of time and there was no issues whatsoever with the same thing. Okay, we will be continuing with the same from tomorrow as well. We have almost completed the entire thing. A little bit of list membership operators and a little bit of data structures is left. We'll try to like end it tomorrow itself, so that we are done with Python by tomorrow, and then we can start with the various different aspects from tomorrow. Again, guys, please do like the video and of course subscribe to the channel. It really helps us a lot to reach out to as many number of students as possible, so that they are able to take up a lot of benefit via these free boot camps that we organize throughout the year. Okay, so please do subscribe to the channel and also like the video. It really helps us a lot, and will surely like deliver upon all the value that we have provided to you guys. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, and we'll continue with the same from tomorrow as well. Okay, so thank you so much and have a good day ahead.